Hello everyone, my name is Rick Fletcher. For those of you who might have missed my first introductory video, I'm the new lead pastor here at Ellenbrook Baptist Church. For those of you who did catch the first introductory video, I should probably let you know that my family has had a look at it and given me the okay to say it's all right. But they pointed out that when I said that Micah is an unusual name, I didn't actually say it's a girl's name. Micah is our daughter. All right, that aside, the purpose of this second video is to talk a little bit about my faith journey. So I guess this is what you would call part of my testimony. I grew up in a Christian home, sort of. I hope that's not unfair to my parents. They both have very strong connections with the Methodist Church, going back generations on both sides of my family. As a child, my parents took my brother and I to church and Sunday school sometimes, but often we were away at orienteering events on a Sunday morning, so we were sporadic. But they wanted to make sure that at least we had the opportunity to learn about Jesus and to be able to make a faith decision for ourselves when the time came. And certainly growing up, for most of my childhood, I thought of myself as a Christian. As a result of that, when I was in year 7 and a Scripture Union teacher came to run some Bible study classes at my primary school, I started going to those on a Friday lunchtime. And as part of that, I started reading my Bible seriously for the first time. There was a problem though. I read it, and I read the Gospels and started with Genesis and all the rest of that. But I didn't really understand very much, and I certainly didn't understand God's grace. So what I read and saw was a list of rules, all the do's and don'ts. And because I saw them and wanted to do the right thing, I tried to do them in my own strength. And I failed a lot. The whole process made me so absolutely miserable that I basically told God, look, if this is what you're like, it's just crushing me. I don't want to have you in my life. And I turned my back and went my own way. And that was my life for probably, I think it's the next 8 or 9 years. And I don't mean to say that I went off the rails or anything. I was fairly well behaved as a kid, I guess. But I did it without God. That changed when I was at university. But to understand it, you need to go back a little bit. In high school, I had a friend who was a Christian. We didn't really think about it, but he was a Christian. His mum was a pastor. And he prayed for us. And he prayed for us with a lot of his Christian friends, or his school friends, that is. His Christian friends prayed for his non-Christian school friends, and I was one of those. And there was a 6 to 12 month period when I was in university when one friend, and then another friend, and then my brother, my twin brother, all became Christians and started attending this church with my Christian friend. And so naturally I was curious about that, but I didn't think terribly much of it until they asked me to come to a Baptist Easter camp at Serpentine, and this was in 1998. And I didn't want to go initially. I was doing my honours year in zoology, and I was expecting to be doing field work over Easter. So I said no, but my supervisor wasn't available to help me with the field work, so it turned out I had that weekend free. I had nothing else planned, and I thought, well, I might as well. If nothing else, I'll just wind up playing basketball for the weekend with my friends. So I asked them, and they called in some favours, and I was able to go. And on the Easter Friday, everyone went to a prayer meeting in the morning. It was very early, but I figured I'd go just to be polite. And I prayed for the first time in a long time and said to God that, look, if you're real, you need to do something to show me, because I'm just not getting it. And, the rest of the camp progressed and I enjoyed it, but didn't think too much of it until Easter Monday. And for the final session that we were due to have on Easter Monday, the speaker got up, and before he presented his message, he gave people the opportunity to give their testimony, in fact, much like I'm doing now. And one person got up, and then another person got up, and then another, and then another, and then another, to the point where the speaker put down his microphone, realised God was working in that moment and sat down. And I was just blown away, really. Some of these young people had been through incredibly tough times, attempted suicide, depression, all sorts of some instances of abuse, just horrible things. And God had brought them through in a way that just astounded me. And I was struck by my own ingratitude because I had lived such a good life, but hadn't wanted God to be part of any of it. And as I realized that, I was brought to mind of that verse in Revelations 3, and I'm probably going to paraphrase it horribly, but where it says that Jesus stands at the door and knocks, and to him who opens the door, Jesus will come in and eat with them. And so I had that verse in my mind, and in my head I pictured opening that door, letting Jesus, inviting Jesus to be part of my life again. And to my utter joy and astonishment, I found him waiting on the doorstep just as he had promised all along. And I cried a lot. It was just a tremendous moment of joy for me. So I started attending Claremont Baptist, which was where my friend and all my friends, Christian friends, were going. And I was baptized there about a month later. And I enjoyed a strong period of Christian fellowship and spiritual growth in the years at Claremont. I had the opportunity to try my hand at some teaching and preaching. And I was encouraged in that by some of the people of the church who thought that I had a gift in that area and encouraged me to go to Bible college. Circumstances didn't really allow that at the time, but after I got married to my wife Nicole in 2006, we moved to Bunbury. And in 2007, I started looking at doing some study by distance. This was still in the days when they would post you a file of papers to read, and you had to post your assignments back again. I got about 2 units through that, and then we moved back to Perth, and it all fell in a heap. And nothing much happened until 2013, when I started studying again, because it was still on my mind, this suggestion really from people I trusted, Christians that I trusted, that I should serve God best by developing this gift. And yeah, I knew I could talk. I'd worked for about 11 years as a lawyer. Public speaking is reasonably natural to me. I'm trained for it. But I wasn't sure whether I could serve God in this capacity, certainly as a pastor. And so I was looking to see where that might lead. In 2013, I started studying at Voice. And in 2014, I lost my job as a lawyer and wound up being called as trainee and associate pastor at Margaret River Baptist. And I've spoken a bit about that in my other video. So I guess what I would say is that my experience has been that there have been times in my life when things have plateaued. And in hindsight, looking back, those were periods when there were often issues in my life that I needed to address before God could use me in a new way. But I do feel that he has called me to serve as a pastor and to serve here at Ellenbrook as a pastor. And I'm just thrilled to have the opportunity to serve in this way. And I hope that something of what I'm able to bring will be a blessing to you and to the church. And I'm just so grateful to God for all that he's done in my life, in encouraging and equipping me for service in my family. Obviously, aside from Jesus, the greatest gift I have been given by God is Nick and the kids. And yeah, I'm just really excited about what this new season holds for all of us. So may God bless you. I look forward to getting in touch with as many of you as I can by email and other means over the coming weeks. And I'm really excited about, obviously, the chance to meet together properly in person once some of the restrictions start getting lifted. May God bless you all. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.